Hey guys, what's up? It is now Monday. So we celebrated Palm Sunday yesterday. Now we're on Monday and we're walking through the week trying to remember and put our heart in a place of connecting to God, to Jesus, and his walk to Jerusalem. So on Thursday, we'll talk about the way he was feeling knowing that the next day he would be crucified, about how he was arrested. We'll spend some time on that. On Friday, we'll talk about the crucifixion. On Saturday, we'll deal with that moment where the disciples are just saying, where is he now? And then on Sunday, when victory is found, spoiler alert, he comes back. If you didn't know, I apologize for ruining it for you, but still, listen all the way through, it'll be good. But then we have to deal with these few days in between. What about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? What about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? What is going on? We don't really celebrate anything in particular in these days, but we remember. We remember the journey. Now let me make this clear real quick. Jesus, being 100% God, knew what was coming. He knew that he was going to be betrayed. He knew that people didn't really like what he was saying. He knew that in order for us to experience a full relationship of love and redemption with God, with our Heavenly Father, he had to go to the cross. He was not caught off guard. He was completely God, and he knew God's plan because it was his plan. So he was ready. He knew what he was walking into. But there's 3 days of focusing on Jerusalem, of moving towards the cross. And throughout this time, he's still having to deal with his disciples, which at sometimes, if I can be honest, and this is just my opinion, sometimes it feels like he's carrying around a group of toddlers. He's taking this group of toddlers and he's like, guys, this is what we're doing. And they're like, what does that mean? And he's having to explain it. So he still has some of these moments happening. And he's still being tested by the Pharisees. They don't like what he's saying. He's throwing off their way of life right now. He is making a wreck of the way they do things. So they're still testing him. They're still trying to catch him off guard. They're still trying to ruin his reputation and his authority. And because it's not working, they keep plotting to kill him. All of that is happening in these few days. Now, we'll go over some of those highlights over the next 2 days, but today, I just want to remember, I want to bring our mind back to the fact that, yeah, he was completely God, 100% God, but you know what else? He was 100% man. He was 100% like you and I. He experienced emotions like you and I experience emotions. He had moments that were frustrating. He had moments of joy. He had moments in which he wept. And sometimes, as we move to the cross, we just see it as Jesus being a soldier following orders. And if we do, we will miss the beauty and the depth of his love for us. We will miss what actually happened. We will miss the sacrifice that Jesus made because he loved us so dearly. I want you to think real quick. I want you to try to come up with someone in your mind. I'm going to do the same thing right now. Let's just think, who would you die for? Who would you die for? Okay, if I was going to die for anyone, just being honest, my wife and kids. I'm sure you're amazing and you're worth dying for, but right now, if it's on me, like I would die for my wife and I would die for my kids. I wouldn't so easily give my life for a stranger that I don't know, or maybe somebody that I do know. I don't know if I can say that I would. Much less would I give my life for somebody who had their back turned against me. Much less would I start Monday and know that on Friday I would be crucified and be really okay with it. Would you? Jesus knew what was coming. Completely aware of the plan, completely aware of who was going to betray him. None of this, I'll say it again, caught him off guard. None of this was a surprise to him. So remember the weight that Jesus carried on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, even on Thursday, knowing what was coming. But there's something really important. I mentioned it earlier. He wasn't just taking orders and marching in. I want you to, if you've got a Bible, or if you don't, I'm just going to read it. We're going to go to the Gospel of John, where Jesus is speaking, and he's speaking about his own life. And I want you to hear his words. John chapter 10, I think it's verse 18. It is verse 18. No one takes it from me. No one takes it from me. It is not the Father that is taking my life from me. It is not the Pharisees that are taking my life from me. It is not anyone who can take my life from me. He goes on to say, I lay it down. I choose to give my life for you. No one takes it from me. I give it for you. He gave it for me. He knew what was going to happen, and he felt the emotional weight of what was going to happen. But even so, he said, they in 2019 are worth my love and worth my death on the cross. So look, here's what I want us to do today. Don't feel guilty. Please, don't feel guilt. Don't feel shame that Christ had to die for your sin and my sin. It doesn't matter how hard we try. We were never going to be good enough. So don't carry any guilt with you. Don't carry guilt with you. Instead, celebrate and rejoice that His love for us was it still is, so immense, so massive, so huge, that even when we had our back turned to Him, He said, they are worth it, and I want them in. And so I will go, and I will give my life, and I will suffer, and I will put it on the line for them. Wow. Whoa. Mind-blowing love. So today, this week, as we remember what Jesus went through, yeah, it weighs heavy on us. It weighs heavy on Him. But He did it because He loves us. And He still loves you today. And He still loves me today. My sin can't come between us because He's already paid for it. Your sin, whatever you've done in your life that you think God could not forgive me if He knew, guess what? He knows. And He still went to the cross for you. And He says, you I love. And man, today, if you feel far from God, He's right there. And He wants you close. So remember and rejoice in the love He showed for us. Don't feel guilt or shame today. Be freed from it, because that's why He died, that we would be free in the love He has for us. Let's enjoy this Monday.